Yo, welcome to Mellow_Match YouTube channel. Today's video, just gonna be a quick overview of my updated PikaRom list with no hammers. I've tried hammers. I was not a huge fan of them. I know some of you are gonna say hammers are so good. They should definitely be in the deck. Sure. I've never enjoyed, not never. Occasionally you luck sack some games, but like for the most part, playing hammers just hasn't felt particularly good. And so I've been playing this list. It's not too far off of what I played for Players Cup 2 in the actual like tournament, but it's felt good. So I'm going to go over some of the techs, why they're there, and all that good stuff. So as you may be wondering, there's some things that I think people are going to see it. They're going to be like, there's no way, like, why would you play that over hammers? It's like, it's there for a specific reason. Let's take a look at the 60. Here's where we're at. So there's a few things. I have 3 Boltunds. 3 Boltunds are not necessary, but Boltund's your best starter, and you really want to find your Boltund. We can only play 4 quick balls, so being able to find Boltund is very, very, very good. We want to start it and we want to find it. I don't think the 4th one is necessary. I've tried 4 before, and 3 feels better than 2, but 4 doesn't feel that much better than 3. Another thing, I have 2 Raichus. This is one that I think a lot of people are going to immediately say, like, oh, we can just cut that. Yes, you can. If you want to talk about flex spots, you can technically cut a Boltund and be probably fine. You can technically cut a Raichu and probably be fine, but Raichu is arguably the best card in the deck. Like, you need PikaRom to set everything else up. So Boltund hits hard, you set up your Raichu, stuff like that. But like, Raichu's so ridiculously good in this deck. And so the second one means we're less likely to prize it. I'm a general fan of this because, I mean, for the Players Cup, it's best of 1, it's single a limb. I don't want to get bodied by prizes. So I've enjoyed having the second one, but it's cuttable, it's cuttable. 2 Mewtwo's is very good. The rest of the Pokemon line seems totally normal. 2 E-Radars, 1 Cherish Ball. I've gone back and forth between like 3 Radars, no Cherish Balls, but I kind of like the Cherish Ball. The benefit of not discarding is very nice, and it gives us an out to find Mewtwo, which in some matchups is just so important early game, especially something like ADP. Being able to find Mewtwo early without using Dedennes and Crobats is very important. So the 1 Cherish Ball helps us do that. I still like E-Radars though, so we have 2 of those. The Great Catcher is probably a card that I think a lot of people aren't putting in their list yet, and I really think you should if you expect to play against a lot of ADP and PikaRom. Obviously, this is a completely dead card against Eternatus. It's not bad, but it's not great against Centiskorch and Luke Metal. It's, I mean, technically it's usable because we can always Great Catcher up the Luke Metal early or late, but it has very specific matchups that is very, very, very good at. Mirror is the biggest one, just having an extra gust effect, but an extra gust effect you can play off of a draw supporter is incredibly good. So I have found the Great Catcher to be a very, very, very strong card. You may be noticing there's no energy switch, there's no tag switch. I really, really like the tag switch, but the more I played, it seemed like only the first few games is where the tag switch mattered. And so I'm just going to say, I'm just going to attach energy to the correct Pokemon. I don't hate the idea of energy switch or tag switch, but I just don't think it's a necessary card, so I don't have it in the list. 2 Swells is another one where technically a flex spot. You can go down to 1, but I don't see another card I would want. And it's just like, why wouldn't I want to make the Centiskorch or help against the Power Plant Eternatus matchup? So the second Swell helps to do that. Because Power Plant Eternatus appears to be the most common version now. There are some playing no stadiums as well, but there's a lot that are playing Power Plants. I'm playing Power Plant in mine because I think it's correct. 3 boss because we have the 1 Goss. A 4th boss isn't a terrible option. So if you want to be like, I really want to cut a Raichu, 4th boss is probably the next card I would add. 4/4 line, that seems pretty obvious. 1 Team Yellgrunt. Team Yellgrunt is our energy removal, so people are going to say, like, you need hammers to beat Eternatus. Look, even with hammers, the Eternatus matchup's unfavored, and this is set up so what you do is you go in with a PikaRom, you 2-shot, so you go PikaRom hit, they knock out your PikaRom, you can go Stamp, Tag Bolt, Yellgrunt off the bench so they're not able to attack the next turn, and that's a pretty strong play. So the Yellgrunt, you really only need it that 1 turn when you go KO, plus remove the energy off the bench, so like that 4th turn in the game. Or you can also use it early. It's not bad to use early in that matchup. So the 1 Yellgrunt is just guaranteed energy removal in against the Eternatus matchup. If they ever go down to one prize, like I said, knock out the active with the Tag Bolt, Yell Grunt plus Stamp. Order is very important. I've made this mistake plenty of times. Yell Grunt, then Stamp. Don't Stamp, then Yell Grunt. You don't want them to have that energy in their hand. And that is really a strong way that we can come back against Eternatus. The other thing we have against Eternatus is I play 2 Big Charms. The plus 30 HP is very good against Eternatus. It's very good in the mirror match. Being able to put it on a Dedenne or a PikaRom prevents them from being one-shot. It's good against ADPZ because we can prevent the ultimate Ray KO in case we have to Dedenne. It's, like I said, good against Eternatus because they cap at 270. It's also good against ADP if they play Vitality Band or stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of the Big Charms. And then a 3-11 split. A lot of people are going to look at the 11 energies and be like, that's too many. It helps against Luke Metal to have more basic energies, and it just helps us to find the guaranteed energy drop turn 1. The 14th energy, cuttable, but also I really, really, really like it. So this is the PikaRom list I think I've been running. I've tried hammers. The hammers kind of sucked. So this is kind of where we're at right now. No hammers does mean you have to play a very clean game, which can be quite tough for a lot of people, myself included sometimes. So that is something you have to be wary of. This one, you have to play a very clean game. Like, you have to make all of the correct plays when you make them because you don't have hammers to bail you out. But this deck does have good matchups against, I think this deck has better matchups against stuff where hammers are not useful because you have more cards that are useful. So big fan of the deck. This is what I'm running. Let me know how your Players Cup run is going. A bit of a quicker video today because I don't know. There's no real reason to play some ladder or anything like that right now. I just wanted to give you an update on a deck that I am personally a fan of. If you want to mess around with it, to use some keys with. I've used 0 keys as of the time of recording this video. So we'll get there eventually. But let me know how your Players Cup's run going. Let me know how your PikaRom list is running. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out.